Howdy, folks. Let's start up our 10-minute timer today. Man, how do I do this? All right, just like that. It is Wednesday, February 11th. 11 days in, and it's 8:11 p.m. I forgot to hold this up yesterday. This is what we're doing. A daily upload video here on the second channel every single day. It's going to be 10 minutes. We're going to do some show and tell. Where's my show and tell item? I got a story for you guys tonight. My show and tell item, I'm sure it showed up in the thumbnail. It is this can of TaB. And I'll get into, there's a little bit more to it than just it being a can. Not that much more. But I do want to talk about TaB, and I'm going to show you the wall over here. But you see this? You see this spot here? You see where it's all worn out? So before I recorded, I saw this can of TaB. I have this can of TaB. I'll tell you what's special about it. It's kind of slightly interesting. And I thought, well, this will be fun to show. It's vintage can of TaB. It looks beautiful. And so I said, it's kind of dusty though. Let me wash it off. And I go to the kitchen sink and I put some soap on it. And then I get the little scrub brush. This isn't like a wire brush or anything. It's got like little bristles on it. It's very soft, and they're like the rubber bristles. And I was like, I'm just gonna give it a little cleaning, and the paint came. I mean, the can is very old. This can is from 1986, so it's had several decades, and unfortunately. It did not survive my cleaning. It's very shiny though. You could see, look at that. You could see me in the reflection from the monitor. That's pretty great. So I got a lot of TaB stories to tell you. And this particular can is interesting because this is a Disney can, and it's a bank, and I bought it in an unusual place. Let me show you. Now, I don't know how many of you know this, but the room that I'm in, the reason that I've got this pink light is because when 2020 happened, everybody's in their house and people were kind of fixing up their house. And I remember we came down here into the basement and we were playing some video games, and my son got like a rash. I wouldn't say rash, hives, because, and you sometimes probably can see right back up here, you'll see that the ceiling looks like, and it is, that I took a piece of poster board and just covered up where the ceiling had a hole in it. And the reason it had a hole in it was because my cat, Munchie, used to come down here all the time. I don't let her down here anymore, but she used to walk above the ceiling, which is like a drop ceiling sort of. And so she would walk, I'll tilt it up and let you see, but she would walk on it. And then right there, that mess there, because you can see these are not normal drop ceiling tiles. I looked for a short time to try to find replacement tiles for this system that was installed in, 1964, and I couldn't find them easily. So I was like, well, you know what? Who's going to ever notice? So I fixed that up. He got hives because she used to climb up there and she ripped a hole. And so the tiles had like fiberglass, like that fiberglass. So he got hives from it. So, put him in a bath and, gave him Benadryl and whatever. And he was fine. But I said, well, I got to vacuum up. And if I'm going to vacuum up, let me do some cleaning. Let me fix up. Let me make everything look real nice, because those fibers didn't bother me. But so because of that, I cleaned and I scrubbed this basement so clean. It had always been very basement-y, but I tried to make it very nice and comfortable. And I painted. And I'm going to show you this wall that's right here, the wall I face. I painted the TaB logo on it. And I thought that would be pretty cool. Hope that didn't make you all dizzy. But I painted the TaB logo. Because I was looking at the space and I was like, what could I do with this? And I was like, well, they had announced that TaB was going away. And I like TaB. So my TaB story goes like this. When I was growing up, my cousin has type 1 diabetes since she was a little girl. And so, and also TaB was popular with people dieting. So my grandmother's house always had TaB. She would have other sodas, but they would go by quick. And so we'd always have TaB left over. And I started to love the taste of TaB. And I know it's a weird taste, and people that have had it haven't always found it to be that good. But there's the Coca Cola, product of the Coca Cola company. And this one, Says this one says serving size is 1 can. Calories per serving was 0. So yeah, they had, but on the front they would put less than 1 calorie. Now today, if a product has up to 5 calories, they put 0. So back then they used to actually put like 3 calories or whatever. There's a couple things I want to show you. First thing is the warning label here about saccharin. And this says, use of this product may be hazardous to your health. This product contains saccharin, which has been determined to cause cancer in laboratory animals. And then it has specifics about which chemicals it has on there. This was a warning label. You may know this story. I talked about it a little bit. Saccharin, the government did a test that they were never able to repeat, where they injected an absurd amount of saccharin into lab mice and they got cancer, but they believed it was not because of saccharin. Now, the interesting thing was, Sweet and Low, I talked about it on my Sweet and Low video because Sweet and Low had to change their formula in the United States. They did not have to change their formula around the world. So if you go to Canada, it still has cyclamates in it, which was I explained the chemical stuff as best as I could back then. I've forgotten a lot of it. So, but I love the old style. The can would have these pinstripes, which I don't know if they come through as well. There actually is a TaB can up here, which is one of the last ones I ever got to drink. I actually drank one on a live stream on my birthday a year after they stopped making TaB, and it had kind of already started to go south. It had already started to... Diet sodas, you think of a canned soda because like canned foods tend to last a really long time, but diet soda, I don't know if it's only in a can, but I've had a can of diet soda that has expired many times in my life. You know, you go someplace and you find it in like the cabinet or the back of the fridge. And you're like, oh, and then you go to drink it, like, what happened here? Diet soda does not have as good of a shelf life. Now, this was a special can to promote the 15th anniversary of Disneyland. Or Disney World, Walt Disney World in Florida, which had opened in 1971. So this was from 1986. They would have different cans with different characters. This one has Alice. It says disappearing cats, mad tea parties, and frantic white rabbits puzzle Alice as she wanders through Wonderland. But it's the powerful Queen of Hearts who makes her fearful. That escape may not be in the cards. Copyright 1986, the Walt Disney Company. And there you go. And that was to promote 15 years of the Magic Kingdom. And by that point, Epcot would have been open. So this is a bank. You know, somebody had, I guess, cut the lid and they put another lid on. And I found this for sale at a store that they had out in Orlando that I think was called Recycling the Magic or Mouse Surplus or something like that. And it was a place where they got a lot of weird Disney stuff and they would sell it. And I bought this, and I bought it for very little. And I kept it a nice, I just had it. It was just like up on the top of a bookcase upstairs for years. Did not need to be dusted. Apparently didn't want to be dusted. But now it has a battle scar forever. But that is TaB. I miss TaB. I was hoping that Stranger Things would have a scene where they were like, we got to drink some TaB. Oh man, TaB, it's a real popular drink in this era that we make this show takes place in. And then they'd all appear in the stores again for a brief time, but it was not to be. And so I probably have had my last TaB, which is a shame. When I used to go to the grocery store near me, and they would always get 2 cases of TaB, and I would buy 2 cases of TaB. And so I was the only customer that would buy the TaB, but I'd buy the 2 cases every time I went there to get it, which would probably be, I want to say they'd get 2 cases of TaB. It was like 2 12-packs. And I want to say they'd get that like every 3 months. And that's about how long 2 cases would last me, maybe even longer. But I did like TaB. I miss it. And I don't drink soda very much anymore. That was the only soda I have ever regularly purchased for the house. And it's one that I know a lot of people did not like the flavor of. But now the flavor is just a memory. But there you go. There is my TaB can. And I hope you enjoyed hearing about it. I wish I could taste it again. New video coming out on the main channel about soda, and I will be talking about TaB. So look forward to that. I am out of time. I'll see you tomorrow.